Yo, what is going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time, but welcome back to another edition of the Off Schedule podcast. I'm your host, Isaac Uku, and today I'm with a very, very, very special guest, one of my former teammates, Loren Strickland, safety for the Detroit Lions. How you been, man?
Good, bro. Just chilling, living the busy NFL life.
Yeah, nah, that's for real. I mean,
How you been?
I've been unemployed, you know. For those who don't know, I got released from the Detroit Lions a couple months ago, so I've really just been waiting for my next opportunity, working out and stuff like that. But nah, I've been blessed. Nevertheless, I've been good. I've been chilling, just working out, waiting for the next call and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But nah, like, let's just, for people who don't know you, where'd you grow up? Like, where'd your story begin? Like,
Chicago, Park Ridge, Illinois. For those who don't know, it's about 25, 30 minutes outside the city, I guess. But yeah, Chicago. I moved around a lot. But yeah, been in Chicago my whole life, really, until college, I guess.
Yeah. So you grew up in Chirac, but now
Chicago, mostly suburbs. That's,
so you wasn't in the trenches?
Yeah. No. I mean, I didn't grow up the best way. Obviously, times were hard, but I didn't live in the trenches. I wasn't in the bad areas. I've been there, but I moved around so much, but all over Chicago, really.
So how does Chicago compare to Detroit?
Way bigger.
Way bigger.
I'll say that it's got a bit more development, obviously. I think the biggest thing I kind of think about is just like everything that's in Chicago, like all the main touristy type stuff is on the water. So you're all right there. Detroit, it's kind of not like that as much, but it's also not as big, so the water's not far.
Yeah.
But there's also just so much to do in Chicago. I haven't really expanded enough in Detroit to really feel that kind of, vibe.
So is this your first time, like once you got to Detroit, this was your first time like having your own spot for real, like living on your own and then?
I mean, outside of college, I guess.
Yeah,
kind of. College, I did have an apartment for a while, and I was kind of on my own. Had some roommates too. But especially when I transferred, I felt like I was kind of on my own. But yeah, no, this is like official, doing all the grown adult stuff, the like apartment stuff, insurance stuff.
Now, speaking of grown adult stuff, I mean, congratulations. You recently got engaged to your fiance.
Thank you.
And y'all living together, and y'all got a dog too.
Bruno.
How's that been, like living with somebody else and like building a life with somebody else? Like, how's that been?
I think it's good. It wasn't that much of a huge transition for us, I think, because we were with each other so much in college, and then kind of the year before I came up here and I was training, all that kind of stuff, trying to get ready for the draft and all those kinds of things. I was kind of living with her and her parents. But no, it's been good. It's turned me into a real like homebody and all that kind of stuff. I don't. We sit in the crib all day. We don't go nowhere. But just kind of building together, growing, seeing how she is, how I am, going through those tough pains sometimes too of just adapting together, being around each other so much. I think it's been good. Growing up fast for real. I think having Bruno definitely helps. So
helps.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It'd be the opposite for me. I mean, me and my girl, we got a dog, and it's just so much inconvenient things that you got to deal with. Like, you got to make sure you can't travel without making arrangements for the dog. You got to get food. They be trying to eat everything. You got to take them to the vet because they ate a toy or something like that. It's just so much stuff that I guess it's kind of prepping you for when you have a kid.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, geez, sometimes.
But you got to think about too, how often does it keep her busy though, right? Or keep you busy, you know what I'm saying though? You have the dog there. If you didn't have the dog there, she always on you.
Nah, that's true. If I didn't have the dog, she'd be on me all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why Bruno's kind of, it's a little emotional support for real.
Yeah.
Having him there, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I definitely get that vibe, when he jumps between you and your girl and all those kinds of things.
Yeah. It's funny because I never knew, because I never had a girlfriend around and a dog at the same time living together and stuff like that. I didn't know that dogs really be getting jealous and really be wanting to
territorial
and all that. I'm like, bro, it's my girl. It's like R. Kelly and Usher. They be like, same girl. He's like, he thinking that He's thinking that we fighting for my girl. I'm like, bro. Like, but nah, yeah. So let's just jump into what everybody came here for, the football, man. I mean, that's been the biggest part of both of our lives for as long as we can remember, probably. Right?
Me, not as much, honestly.
Really?
I didn't play growing up as much.
Really?
As everybody else who's here in this profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine's a kind of a weird story-ish. I only played 2 years before high school. And it wasn't even consecutive years. It was 4th grade and then in 8th grade.
That's fun, bro. You know what's funny about that? Mine was kind of similar too.
Yeah.
Like I played in when I was 9 years old. I forgot what grade that was, but I played when I was 9 years old.
Third
and
or fourth.
I didn't play again until my 8th grade year.
Yeah, going into high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Yeah, that's crazy. So like, what made you decide to like start taking it seriously in high school, or was it something that you did take serious, or it kind of just got thrust upon you?
It was something I always wanted to do. I mean, I always had like the uncles and the brothers that were good at it. My older brothers, they're 7 and 11, 10 years older than me, but they played my whole childhood, since they were 5 years old, all the way through. I just didn't get that same opportunity. I was kind of moving around a lot, things like that. I was homeless for a little bit. So I wasn't able to really play like club sports like a lot of kids can. I wasn't secure enough, I guess, or stable enough. But yeah, my uncles was always, I mean, we were always super athletes, all of us. And we were always one of the most athletic kids in the class and things like that. And just football was everything at that point. I remember always wanting to play the NFL, and it was always like change your life, make it to the league, and things like that. So that was always what I wanted to do, I think. And I definitely had battles of it. Even in 8th grade, I'd even make the Sunday team or whatever. I made the Saturday team. And I used to have coaches that would tell me I wasn't good and things like that. And just getting through high school, I just keep my head down, keep going. But I always like took it serious because I always had that deep belief, you know.
No, that's I mean, that's a lot, because homelessness, I mean, that's for a child or someone growing up, that could be I mean, for anyone really, that's like tough to deal with and go through.
Yeah, no, that's why I say like people say like I say I'm from Chicago, but I'm from the suburbs, but I moved around a lot. Like, oh, so you're not from the city, you're not from that. I'm like, trust me, I've probably been through worse than what you think. Some people that live in those, or you know what I'm saying, like I've seen it all. I've went through a lot of things people would never even know. But like that don't define me, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely probably helped, I think, and just my push. There's a lot of guys, you know, on the flip side where they grow up great in great situations, things like that, and maybe they don't want to play football, they don't want to make to the league to change their life. So I wouldn't change any of it.
No, that's interesting, because when you're somebody who has been through a lot, or you've been through a lot of things, like it hardens you, not necessarily emotionally, but it hardens you in a way that you're more resilient to different hardships that come in the future. And especially in a sport like football, where not only physically are you getting beaten down, but mentally things are changing at a moment's notice. Like you could go from having a job to not having a job, being healthy to not being healthy, and you have to deal with that stuff mentally. I feel like even though in the moment you probably didn't think highly of what was going on when you were having to be homeless and moving around and things like that.
I'm good. My fault, bro. My fault.
Nah,
My fault.
It's just that now you're kind of seeing the fruits of that mental fortitude that was being built up by going through that stuff and things like that. You agree, or what do you think?
No, yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of those things. It's hard because I have a sibling too that was with me doing it, but his path is much different than mine. But yeah, if I didn't go through a lot of that stuff back then, I don't know if I would have got through some of the stuff I had to go through to get to here.
Yeah.
Especially like even in college, and I did it the hard way. I did 6 years in college.
Yeah.
I did the Division II route, and then I walked on at a Division I school, and all those kinds of things. I wasn't ever the starter, and did it the undrafted way, and yeah, I don't think I could have probably bounced back from being told no so many times if I hadn't gone through things like that. I have things pushing me. I remember going home from college every like off season. Like I didn't go around my family. I'd go home and I'd stay with my best friend. I stayed with my best friend in the off season or the breaks in college. But when I would go see my family, it was just like one of those things of like, yeah, I got to step on it. Like, cause I couldn't be around it. It was like one of those things that like, I was like this ain't it. Like I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I having that background is definitely what got me here.
No,
for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool seeing you talk about it because I've known you for like a year and a half or almost 2 years now, and just seeing your drive is like very motivational. I'm not trying to get all mushy
No,
about it,
I
but
appreciate it.
like seeing your drive and the way you work and the way you come from where you came from, like in college, like you said, going D2 and then being able to walk on and then making it to the league and making the 53-man roster, which is not easy, no matter what all these fans want to say when they look and see a guy, oh, he's just on P squad, or oh, he got cut, and they're like, oh, that must mean he's bad. Nah, that's not how it works. It's the best football players in the entire
world.
Yeah, in the world.
It's the top 1%.
Yeah, so
less
like,
than 1%.
Yeah, so don't like. A lot of times it's tough when you're in it, but it's good to definitely look back and see like, wow, we've really accomplished a lot being where we're at and doing what we're able to do. And then so like, when you were in college, starting at D2, did you realistically think the NFL was something that was going to happen?
Yeah. It for some reason it never left me. Like I was the nut guy in college that was like, I'm doing it. Like I'm going there. Like people were like, yeah, okay, buddy. Like I had buddies that are like, they're there just because they're like, I'm getting my degree paid for. I'm playing football. UND is where I went. And they were always like a top 10 D2 school football. Like we were always a great program.
Yeah.
We never really pushed through the playoffs, but we were a great program. And it was like, they were like, yeah, we're playing great football. We're getting our school paid for. We're 10 minutes outside the city of Indianapolis. Like, we're having a good time in college. They're like, yeah, I'm not worried about the NFL. And most of us were undersized anyway. I'm undersized. We were all undersized. And yeah, but I never lost that faith. Like, even there was times where I was even out with friends and, we're engaging in, free time activities, as I'll call it. and I'm still out there like, I'm still going to the NFL, right?
Yeah.
They're like, bro, you sitting right here with me. We ain't going, and look where we at. So, and it meant a lot to me, actually. I had a buddy from my D2 school send me a long video after I made the team, and it was just like how much he respected me and admired me for like, he's like, you said you were going to do something, and you did it. Like, I was always that guy. You go ask anybody that knew me since I walked into UND. I was always the one saying, like, somehow, one way or another, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I did it. And even the strength coach there, I remember I was like a freshman. I'm like, how do I get to the NFL? Like, I got to get to the NFL through here. How do I do it? How do I do it? All the time. It was probably annoying, but somehow it worked out.
Yeah, it paid off. I mean, you made it.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you were coming out of college, you started at UND, you transferred to Ball State, and then you were coming out. Did you think you had a shot at being drafted, or did you know that undrafted was probably the route you were going to have to take?
I ain't going to lie to you. I didn't know how any of that stuff kind of worked. That's the thing, too, about so like some D2 schools, they have the knowledge. My D2 school, we didn't really send guys to the league, so we didn't have we didn't do any of that kind of stuff. And it wasn't like they were breeding guys to do that.
Yeah.
So like I had no idea how the process worked at all. And so like it was always like one of those things where I'm like picking people's brains who might know and trying to figure it out. But even when I got to Ball State, like talking to guys there, I started to realize, okay, this is how the process kind of goes. This is kind of how it works. And it's like, getting drafted seemed almost impossible, especially out of like a MAC school.
Yeah.
So I went to Ball State, and it was almost like if you're gonna get drafted out of here, like it's got to be clear and evident for like 3 or 4 years that you were like dominant, like you were all MAC, like first team, really, like you're pushing All American or you are an All American. Like those are the guys that get drafted from MAC school.
Yeah.
And I was a walk-on, fighting for just a role on the defense. I only was playing special teams, so I didn't know really that route or how it would go. It was kind of one of those things that just keep my head down. When my opportunity comes, I'll take advantage of it. And one way or another, when the time comes, it'll work. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's similar how it was to JMU because I started at JMU and then I finished at Ole Miss. But at JMU, it was one of those, it was D1 AA, so it was one of those same things where it's like if you were going to get even a chance to get sniffed at drafted, you'd have to be like a 3-4 year starter, all conference first team, all American, consistent, like dominating type of situation. And I just know even after I went to Ole Miss, coming out, that you kind of got that little hope. You're like, oh, maybe I might they might throw me a Mr. Irrelevant bone here or there. But like in the back of your head, that undrafted is probably the route you're going to have to take. Yeah. And little did we know what we were getting into coming into the league undrafted. But like speaking to that, when you first got into the league, what did you think? Like coming in undrafted, what was your mindset going in?
I just remember, like, I remember getting the phone call. Like, it was basically kind of going into the week of the draft. It was like it almost was like it's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
it should. And I didn't have no idea about some of the scary stories we hear about, like guys where it's gonna happen, it's going to happen, and then they hear nothing. So that could have very well been me, but it did happen, and it was just one of those things. Like I just couldn't believe it. But I was like, man, I'm just so excited to get to work. Like I can't believe it. And it was almost like, in a bad way, it was like bittersweet because that was me accomplishing my goal. Like. Basically, the goal was accomplished.
Yeah.
Make it to the end, get to a training camp. And
Yeah.
that was all I ever wanted. Me and my brother talked about that. And just, I remember having that feeling and then getting there and then everything after another was just surreal. Like it just, nothing ever like called. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like it's everything. And it was just like praying that you stay here tomorrow. And that was me. Literally, I prayed every single day. Every night I prayed of OTA's training camp of like, please be here tomorrow. Don't get cut tomorrow. Like, and I couldn't help it. And it really like, it slowed me down. I had a vet. I was like, he's like, usually guys don't get cut in OTAs. Like you're usually good. Like they don't cut, like you get cut in training camp. Probably, if it happens. Like, but like they don't cut guys in OTAs. You're good unless it's like a drastic, mess up or mistake. I was like, okay, bet. But it's still, obviously, as you're still nervous. Like that doesn't help.
Nervous as hell. I didn't even, because I thought the same thing. I thought people were getting cut. Like I thought if you got signed, that on that cut day after like rookie minicamp and then going into OTAs, I thought they was just chopping people.
Yeah, like it's a chopping block, right?
Yeah,
like you have to show up every day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I didn't know that usually you're pretty good if you're a signed guy going into training camp, and then in training camp that's when the real cut starts. So I was nervous as hell every day, just like you going in like, bro, I hope I don't get clipped
like,
today.
Please don't cut me tomorrow. Please let me stay. Like this is insane. I can't believe the guys I'm around and all that kind of stuff. It was wild. The vet that told me that too, he ended up getting cut like a week later. but he had an injury, so it was different. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it was one of those things though. Remember you remember how it was though? You come in, you're looking around every day and you're like, whose locker's empty? Like, whose locker's empty? And there wasn't that many lockers being emptied. So we kind of, eased us a little bit. But there were still guys that could get caught. They did get cut.
Yeah. And it's like, what a lot of people don't understand is the mental toll that takes on you to be in a constant state of worry and like uncertainty.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a guy who's on $100 million deal or something, you have a certain sense of, okay, I'm gonna be all right.
You're good.
I'm gonna be cool. But if you're a guy who's undrafted or a guy who's maybe on the vet minimum or rookie minimum or things like that, you're constantly being evaluated, but then also constantly evaluating yourself extremely harshly, wondering, oh, did this do this? Or
harder than they do.
Yeah, harder than, yeah.
Like I remember days when you go in and you make a mistake that to you felt so simple and it eats at you for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Because all you're thinking is that, they're thinking about how I just did that. Oh, they just can't. And sometimes they're not even, like, they're well past that.
Yeah.
But you're in your head like, I'm getting cut tomorrow for that. And yeah, it's rough out here. And the imposter syndrome, I think, is the biggest one too. Like you talked about that, like people don't understand, like no matter what you do as an undrafted guy, really, I mean, unless some guys that are so overwhelmingly confident that you're almost ignorant to reality. But the other one, most of us, you feel like you don't belong. And that's just being in the NFL, how hard it is that they say, and it is truly that. I think that's one thing I struggled with a lot. Especially in my story, like we talked about, like most guys like me didn't get there. Everyone was like, how did you make it here?
Yeah.
So like that didn't help me. I constantly was like looking over my shoulder all the time.
Yeah, nah, for real. Because when you are a guy who got in, like undrafted guys kind of got in by the skin of their teeth and stuff like that. So every little thing you're harping on, one, because your leash is a lot shorter than everyone else. And two, because it puts a chip on your shoulder for it's like you kind of want to, at least for me, you want to prove, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, I was undrafted, but not because I didn't have the ability, but because I was underrated.
Yeah.
People didn't evaluate me the way that I should have been evaluated. That's the mindset you go into, and you have to, because otherwise you can get crumbled by every little mistake or every little instance because you're going against really, really talented people in the NFL. Like, these are guys who have been playing football, are really good at it. There's a reason they got there.
Yeah.
So if you allow every little mistake to pile on, and then people to get the up on you mentally, that's when
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over. That's what I say. That's like confidence is. That's one of the things the biggest thing I've learned. One of them is just that confidence. You lose your confidence, it's cooked. You're cooked.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like an undrafted guy or a guy on the fringe, because you won't have time to rebound.
Facts. And I think one thing that was interesting about our rookie year last year was how many injuries the team faced, and then how we were still able to be successful over the course of the season.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really spoke to how we practiced in training camp, our mentality going into playing in games and as a team. And do you feel like that chip on your shoulder type of mentality is what was kind of very important to last year, or was like the storybook of, or the summary of last year's season for you and the team?
Yeah. I think a lot of guys, like Dan will talk about too, a lot of guys that they go recruit and get, they're guys that have chips on their shoulders. Like, and he goes and gets football players, guys that have been hungry, that have done it the gritty, hard way. Even our superstars all had chips on their shoulders, right? Sane always talks about the guys drafted before him and things like that, or even Goff when he got traded out of the team that's supposed to be his team and draft. You know what I'm saying? So even guys like that have chips on their shoulders, and I think just the way that we rally, the way that we build that culture, it makes us hungrier. It makes us, and it's a chip too of like when all those guys got hurt, and it's, oh, well, who we got, or we need to go outside the building. We need to go trade for these guys. We need to go find these guys. It's like, dude, you got guys right here. Like that was a chip on our shoulder. You were one of them. You stepped up after Hutch's injury, and you were a guy who had to go be thrown in the fire. And there was doubters of that too for you, and that only added to your chip. Just things like that. I think that's what that pushes competitors like us. Yeah. Right? You wouldn't be less than 1% of people, athletes, if you didn't have that in you. You know what I'm saying? And especially when you've been that successful, you've proven people wrong so many times. That it's like, all right, I'm about to do it again. Like really, that's how you go. You know, that's the thing for me. Like I said, I've rebounded to so many no's that it's like when I get a no now, it's like, all right, it's just a matter of time before I show you wrong, or I prove it. So I think definitely that helped.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the state I'm in now, where it's like I'm a free agent. I'm not on a team, but it's like I still got that like I guess you could call it delusion that like I'm gonna be on a team at some point. It's just a matter of when. Yeah. And it's just like you're staying ready, and it's like you're building. I don't know. It's like you're building momentum within yourself, getting ready for when that opportunity comes. Then you can just hit it running.
Hit it hard.
Yeah. Hit it. Huh? Hit it hard.
All right. You know what I mean, man? It's one of those things like you only gonna go so much harder because you've been sitting, because it's been fueling, building up. And it's one of what it feels like to get it taken away from you. Yeah. That's something that like I have somewhat, but not to the full threshold of the position you're in right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like having that is huge as an edge when you come back.
No, that's real. Like, cause last year I was on P Squad most of the year. I got to play in a couple of games, and I kind of went into this year with the mindset of, oh yeah, P Squad is a given. I'm trying to make the team, and then when I ended up not even being on P Squad, it was kind of like a wake up call. It was like one that like always cherish the opportunity you're in and what you're doing and stuff like that. Not saying that I didn't, because obviously I did cherish what I was doing, and I was trying to give my all every day. But then also it's like nothing's ever guaranteed, regardless. So you got to constantly be like on edge, for lack of better words, and ready to go. And I think that that experience, I feel like, even though it sucks in the moment to not be on a team and stuff like that, I feel like whenever I do get on a team, it's going to give me that much bigger of a drive and that much bigger of an edge when it comes to competing with other guys and doing things of that nature. So it sucks now, but I mean, I think it's going to be good for me in the future.
Yeah, no. And I'll add this too quickly. Just like, I think we always talk about like when we talk to vets, and like you get so much hope when you talk to some of these journeymen. Yeah. Like, because there's so many guys in the NFL that nobody knows about, but they're the bulk of the NFL. It ain't the big names that everyone knows. It's these other guys like us who bounce up and down or in and out of places, who sit on the couch for 10 weeks or so. There's guys like Dorsey. Dorsey had a whole season where he was on the couch basically, and he got a call like week 13 and came back in, and look where he's now. He's one of the best gunners in the game. And so it's just guys like that that give you that hope, that fuel that like it can be done. And it's almost like it is bittersweet, because I look at guys like that and I'm like, man, like that's going to give me hope. That's going to give me confidence if I'm ever going through that. But it's also like, I'm probably going to go through something like that eventually. And yeah, so it's like, well, I hope I don't. But if I do, it'll be great. But it's only going to benefit me that way if I do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you would have never wanted to be where you're at right now. But the person, you in 2-3 years from now, would have been like, I had to go through that to be who I am now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's similar like how with your story of you're growing up and stuff like that. You got to go through tough times to become a tougher person, become a better person in the future. Because, you know, a lot of the most, I forgot who was talking about it, but when you look at a lot of the best people, funniest people, or the people that you have the best time being around are people who've been through things. Because that kind of builds your character and it builds who you are. If you're someone who was shielded from the world or didn't go through as much or didn't have as much experiences, you might not have the stories to tell or the
social capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Social capacity to mingle with everybody, intertwine yourself.
Yeah, for sure. But so now you're in your second year, still with the Detroit Lions. Is there anything that you learned in your first year that has been like debunked in your second year, or like a mindset you had in your first year that's either been like disproven or you kind of like double down on, oh, this really is what it is type of situation?
I think one of the biggest things I'll say, I think me as coming in last year, because like a guy that wasn't supposed to be here, a guy that, take a chance on me, like I could get better, I'm a diamond in the rough type of guy, all those type of things. I kind of fed into that maybe a little bit, and it was kind of like just keep knocking away at it, keep getting better at this, keep focusing on these things. I'll be ready someday.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, one, looking back on it, I think I was ready regardless, like you can be, and I think I was in some certain capacities, and I've definitely gotten better as a football player now. And obviously you continue to get better, 1-2% a day, but it's only going to be so much. And in the NFL, like what I'm getting to is you have to be ready to help now. Like you have to have value to help a football team right now. And I think that was something I didn't really grasp fully as a rookie, probably, because there was times where I wasn't playing or I was inactive, and it was like I wanted to be playing, but there's times where maybe they just didn't feel like I was ready enough to contribute or help. But yeah, the NFL is not a development league. It's basically what I'm getting at. Like, there's no time for you to be in the building and be like, oh, I'm going to get there. No, you need to be there now if you want to stay in this building. And so I think that's something that I've learned from, and like it helps me now this year, especially with just keeping your confidence. And some guys, it's just you're not confident that you're ready, but you really are.
Yeah.
You just have to be confident and go do it, because we've done this our whole lives, right? It's football, and you just can't forget that. So I think that's one thing I learned.
But no, yeah, that's true. You can't, like, I like what you said. You can't forget that, because a lot of times, people forget where they came from or forget what got them to where they are at that moment. Yeah. You know, like they be like I said, they'll get beat on a play or something. They'll mess up something. And they start to overthink. And sometimes I used to do this, like overthink what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I'm playing football.
Yeah.
And I know how to play football.
Yeah. You know how to rush a tackle. You know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know how to do what you do. Just do what you do.
And the times I play the worst is when I'm overthinking doing what I do, which is rush the passer, stop the run, and play the edge, like things like that. And it's just so crazy how powerful like the mind can be. Like,
well, because it's when you forget it, it comes back and bites you. The one time like you slip away from that, and it bites you.
Yeah.
But yeah, NFL, it's not a development league. You know what I'm saying? You got to show up and be ready to do your job. And then it's not much else really debunked, I guess, from earlier I can think of right now off the top of my head.
So what would you say, like, being in the NFL for this past like year and a half, how has it affected your friendships, your relationships, like in terms of time and
I'll say, I mean, I'm busy for sure. You know how it is. You're so busy and you're gone. You're not where you're from. You're not around the people you've been around for so many years. So it's hard. And then when we are off, they're usually working. They're usually busy. And then I think just communicating. You know, it's hard because everyone, you know, they have good intentions. They want to reach out to you. They want to talk to you and these kinds of things, or talk to you about certain stuff. But it's like, at some point, you got to know that you're not the only person reaching out to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a plethora of people texting you about the same exact thing, asking the same exact questions. And it's just, you can only give your time to so many people, especially when you're as busy as we are, right? Like, there's times after games or times when big things happen, made a team, got cut or whatever, and I was up late texting so many people back because I have that many messages. And I'm the type, like, I'm not going to let my phone go up to a bunch of, like, I always get back to people. But now it's like, it might be a week or two. And yeah, I try not to feel bad about it. It's just hard. Some people don't understand, some do. And then I think just in terms of, yeah, you're way more popular to a lot of people, but then, you know, the people that you're really close with too, it's just like, well, that's just my brother, that's just my nephew, that's just my best friend. Like, he plays football, but that's my homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's good. I wouldn't change it, and especially like you talked about, like, having an impact. I think that's one thing that, like, I take a lot of pride in with my relationships, is like, I'm somebody who did it, who went out, said what he was gonna do, accomplished it, and I'm almost just like showing. Like one thing I pray about a lot is I pray that if I am to continue being a symbol of, like, God's work in somebody's life, because that was something I was big about when I made the team last year as a rookie, because I could just feel it with the way that everyone looked at me. I was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I want to give people hope, give them something to be proud of. And so I think I've done that with a lot of my relationships. A lot of people in my family look up to me, even older people look up to me. And yeah, they want to know what I'm doing. They want to know how I'm doing. And they're always checking in and things like that. And they look at me, you know, like, I don't even know. Somebody who accomplished their dream, you know what I'm saying? Like you went through the same thing, I'm sure. Like, and when people know how hard it is to be where we're at, it's like, to see someone really do it who you grew up with your whole life. It's just powerful, I think. So.
Nah, it is powerful. And then, like, I like what you said about, it's like showing people what's possible and what God has done in your life and where He's brought you, and through all trials and tribulations and all those things. And when people can look up and see what you are able to do, I say the same thing when I'm praying, like, just allow me to be a symbol of what's possible when you have God in your life. Yeah. And that's powerful, man.
I really, like, there was one day where I had, like, a revelation about it. And I was in the hotel at the Henry, and it hit me, just like, I felt like I was, like, if I am being used as a symbol of that in people in my life who need it. Like, I have people in my life struggling with things, and they could very well use someone like me showing representation of that to give them some hope and some faith and some belief, something to push for. So,
no, for sure. What do you think is, so from football, what do you think is the most important thing you've gotten, like, from playing football?
I think probably just that resiliency. I think just because going through all the stuff I went through, it's hardened me to a lot. I think I was also hardened before, just his previous life troubles and struggles. But I think football almost gave me like a crazy sense of confidence too, of just like I've seen this thing, or I saw things recently. It was like talking about people's purpose in life, and like I never know what mine is, maybe. Yeah. But like there was like 5 different categories, and one of them was mastery, which I kind of thought about. And it was like, it's almost like you're trying to master something. You're chasing like that. And I think football kind of gave me that and showed me, like, it's possible to like it ain't gonna be easy, or everyone's gonna tell me no, but I'm gonna still go do this thing. Yeah. And for me to do it, like, it's still sometimes I gotta sit back and look at myself like I'm here. Like I just did it. Like, there ain't no way. Like, and even now, like, there's times where I'm not happy about maybe where I'm at and things like that. But it's like, if I really you zoom out, it's like, holy cow, like what you just did. And like, so I think that, and then what we just talked about, relationships, I think, like, I love that stuff. And I hope that I can continue climbing football so it can give me more of a chance to help and be an impact in my family's life and other people's life around me who need it, in different ways, whether it's financial or whatever else. But yeah, I think just that powerfulness, because my story really was one of those where, like, I really had to double down and like take a bunch of no's. And I went through the struggle of being a walk-on. I had my grandma pay my rent for 2 months. I paid my rent with a credit card, like things like that. Like I had a car get repoed. I've had so much stuff, bro, that people don't even know. Like, but it was all in the pursuit of chasing this.
Yeah.
And it was all because of football. So at the end of the day, that's what that had to have given me.
Yeah.
And like I talked to my brother, like we talked about, man, just get into a training camp because you're gonna get paid every week. You'll make the money back from walking on. So like that was it. I was like, if I make it through camp and I get cut, at least I could pay my debt. I'm good.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know. It's giving me a lot, but like that is probably the biggest one because I'm never, like I've had people tell me already, like I light up the room when we walk in for what we do because it's so hard and people aren't around it. And I think like being able to transition to anything else in life, like if I can do this, if I can make it to the NFL as a 5'9", 200-pound safety, like you feel, I can go do so many other things if I put my mind to it. So, and it got me my college degrees, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Nah, football is so like the things you learn from football, the situations you go through because of football is so transferable to like real life situations. Like I feel like football has made me such a better person and my ability to communicate, my ability to withstand things, my ability to look at things from other people's perspectives. Because I remember when because usually in high school you're around people that are, if not the same race or demographic, but around the area will make you think a certain way, or you're used to a certain type of person.
Same belief system, values.
And then when you get to college, you're getting people from all around the United States, maybe even all around the world, people transferring in from other countries and stuff like that. And I know for me, when I first started at JMU, just getting used to how to communicate with certain types of people. Certain people you can't joke with, and you can joke with other types of people. Certain people you can't say certain things without them taking it a certain way. Whereas people in your area, you're used to, they know what you mean and things like that.
Yeah.
So I just feel like when you're playing a sport, playing football, and you're able to go through those situations and those scenarios and learn how to communicate, learn how to push through things, learn how to fight through things. Like, I feel like that's what I love the most about playing football. And like, that's the biggest thing I feel like it's given me, honestly, yeah. It's crazy to really think about it, like how much a game can do for a person.
Yeah. Being put in a locker room with 120 guys fighting for the same goal.
Yeah.
Are completely different people, man. Trust me, completely different.
So, but to finish off, let's step away from football a little bit. I know you talked about your childhood, you talked about your relationship with your fiance, and but is there anything outside of those things that you say has had, like, who are you outside of football? Like, what's had the biggest impact on you and who you are as a person, and outside of your, I know you talked about your childhood, but like, who are you as a person outside of football?
I don't know. I'm just a guy, man. I'm just a guy that be chilling, you know. I like good food. I like good movies, and I like my friends. Like I think one of the things I guess I can maybe speak a little bit, maybe who I am. Like I always talk to my buddy about like what we want to do, and we're always looking 10 years ahead. We're always looking at the future and things like that. It's like I told him like in reality, because I'm very indecisive with where I want to be, where I want to live, what I want to do, this and that. I'm like in reality, like at the end of it. I was like, as long as I'm living somewhere, I got food, I can eat, I got a good place, and I'm around people I care about, friends and family, whatever, or that I care about and I want to be around for the rest of my life, I don't care where I am.
Yeah.
Like, and I think maybe I just value friends, like my friends, being around good people, people that care about me, that I care about. I think maybe part of that is because growing up the way I did, maybe being closed off a little bit to some of my family from the way I grew up, things like that. Going into college as a young kid, growing into a man, and being like my college friends are some of my best friends, and there are people that I grew up with, I grew up around, and so I think any situation where I'm just around them, like I'm good.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I told you already, I'm a homebody. I don't like to go out. I'll game a little bit maybe, but I don't know. Maybe I'd be a finance dude if I wasn't playing football, I guess, because I was a finance major and I was gonna go be an advisor somewhere, Fidelity or something.
Scamming.
Nah. I ain't a salesman. Nah, I'd be doing it the right way. But no, Guess that's really it. I haven't really found that calling, I guess, too. You know, we being so busy, and I guess for me, fighting so hard for something that was always running from me, I didn't really get a chance to figure out where all I'd be outside of this. But
Nah, yeah, that's real.
I'm simple though. Like I tell you what though, like if I wasn't playing no more, I'm chilling. Like I'd be one of those simple guys. Like I don't need much. I don't
Nah,
need
there's
much.
nothing wrong with that. I
No.
mean, I like to chill too. I mean, it's a lot. I love, similar to you, I love being around people, like my friends, and interacting with people, and that's where I get a lot of my joy from. So yeah, I'm pretty similar to you.
That's what I'm saying. I took my mom, my nephews and stuff to Florida in June last June, and it was one of those things. I was like, man, like I'd love to just be able to do this kind of for like, you know, not all the time.
Yeah.
But like maybe once every other year or so for the rest of my life. Like just be able to do that. Just go on a trip with people. Go be around the people you care about, you love, and just do whatever you're doing. But like I was like, okay, I see why now sometimes too. Like if I can't find something to fight for, like in this league, chasing football, chasing money and all that stuff, like this is one of them for sure.
Yeah.
So.
No, man, that's great. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
I appreciate being a part of the revamping.
The
revamping of it.
It's a great talk, man. Great story, obviously. I mean, I've heard it before, obviously, because, you know, we're friends and stuff. But I'm happy to be able to share your short story with the masses so people get a better look into who you are and the type of person you are. You're a great dude, man.
I appreciate that, Isaac.
Yes,
Great
sir.
dude, too.
Well, all right, y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode of the Off Schedule podcast. We back again next week, man. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe wherever you're listening to. All right, peace.